Broadcasting from the center of the universe and the Thrive15.com world headquarters.
Let's go!
Presenting the world's only business school without the BS, with optometrist and entrepreneur Dr. Robert Zoellner, and the former Small Business Administration Entrepreneur of the Year in your ear, Clay Clark. It's the Thrivetime Show. 3, 2, 1, boom!
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back into your daily conversation about how to improve your financial situation. Why would you want to improve your finances, Dr. Z? Why would anyone who's listening choose to tune into a radio show? We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about building a wall. We don't talk about, impeaching people. We've never had any conversations, really any good conversations about inflation or monetary policy. We've never talked about the IMF. We do talk a lot about Russia, we as in me, but we really don't get into politics. Why would anyone want to listen to a show like this?
And we also don't go over your grandmother's cooking recipes. I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of great pie recipes you don't share on the show.
Yeah.
I think you make a really good deviled egg.
Oh,
I've heard.
You're getting me going now.
I don't even know. We don't even go over that. So
Is
we
that
also
an hour or two deviled egg talks.
We also don't talk about how to plant tulips or any home and garden tips. Pruning.
Pruning.
We don't hardly cover. Well, we cover like business pruning, employee pruning, but we
There
don't
you go.
cover.
I
like
tell you what,
plant pruning.
the ultimate segue today. We are definitely talking about employee pruning.
Well, absolutely. But to answer your question, you said why would
Yeah,
we
why?
want? Why would anybody want to listen to the show where it would make more dough?
Oh, look at that.
Flow.
Oh, come on now.
While they're listening to the show.
Oh, it's a
And that
four-time
is-
rhyme.
That is. So they could be like Forrest Gump. You remember when Forrest Gump and he all of his financial problems were taken care of, and he's sitting there talking, and he said, that's one less thing I got to worry about.
That's the whole idea, Thrivers. Don't get all stressed out. The whole idea.
To worry about,
We want to have some fun. But the thing is, we understand how hard it can be, how challenging it can be when you don't know what to do. I understand how frustrating it can be to work every hour of the day. And then you read a quote like Jim Rohn, a best-selling author. He has this quote that just slaps you in the face. He says, you don't get paid for the hours that you work. You get paid for the value that you add to those hours. Oh, gee, it's just so mean. So
mean.
what we do is we like to capture local Oklahomies, people who've had some success, and we bring them inside the box that rocks so they can teach you the specific moves to starting and growing a successful business. And so today, inside the show, inside the box that rocks, we have Mr. Tim Redmond on the show. Tim, how are you, sir?
I am doing awesome. I'm excited to be part of this. And I will have to say, Dr. Z, we also have a mention of falcon pruning about every show.
Wow.
We do. But before we move on, Clay, I'd like to make a wager with you.
A wager? Okay, here we go.
Because I lost the last wager I made with you. So
Sure,
I'd like to be able to double down.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to let you pick. I mean, because just a couple days ago, we had Tim's son on the show.
Yeah.
Robert Redmond.
That's true.
Who did a fantastic job.
Yep.
Do you think his father is going to eclipse his performance?
Well,
I don't know.
I know that one thing.
I know the Redmonds are very competitive as a family.
No,
so.
Tim's very competitive, and when I saw him outside the box that rocks, and he's really a big believer in self-talk and positivity.
Yeah.
And he's looking into a mirror, and he says, if my performance tonight or this afternoon is not so good that it doesn't make my son cry, then I quit. He says, if my performance isn't so good that my son doesn't cry when he tries to realize he cannot possibly compete with his father, then no, I'm just kidding.
Thank you for toning that down, Clay, from what I actually said. So that's good.
No,
that is good. Oh, and another thing,
Yeah.
point 2, normally you slip little bits of swag into the box that rocks, and I don't always notice them. And next thing you know, they've been here for 3 days, and I go, oh my gosh, there's an axe on my desk. Things like that,
Yeah.
But today, there's two just things that jump out. If you're on Facebook Live, you can see these.
Yeah.
If you're not, then you can just imagine them with your brain, okay?
With your brain.
And that is, one, there's a 5-foot pencil behind you in the corner. Now, that's a new move.
I have a reason for it.
Well, and do tell. And the other one is your hat. That hat is going to sweep the country, I'm sure.
Here's the thing. I'm wearing a hat right now. I had this custom made. It says "Make America Boom Again." Now, boom is the title of the workshop manual that you and I hand out at our workshops. And boom stands for what it takes to be successful as an entrepreneur and as a human. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, you just need to do this. And I'll give you an example, okay? Let's say that employee A comes to work and they bring the boom. and employee B comes to work and they don't bring the boom, even if neither one of them ever wants to become an entrepreneur, if employee A brings the boom, which is big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum, to even something as simple as sweeping the floors, if they're bringing big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum to sweeping the floors, they can get the work done of 2 to 3 people. But employee number 2, if they're not bringing the boom, if they're just yawning a lot, Z, when you go to a meeting and you see a young man or a young woman at work yawning, what does that say to you? Someone doesn't bring big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum. What does that say to you when you see it?
It says right then that their brain needs oxygen right that very moment, but they're also not being.
What do you normally do when you see that?
Just you go up to him and you say, really? No, I mean, you understand that person is not bringing the boom. And, you're always looking for A-plus players in your life. And a guy that's sitting on the edge of his seat, who's giving you eye contact, who's smiling, who is paying attention. I mean, I would take an army of them into war. Yeah, it's war, right? I'd take them into war, get in the foxhole with them. Last thing you want to do is you're sitting there in your foxhole and you're sitting there thinking, you're like, hey, Billy, you look around, he's over there yawning, stretching, trying to take a nap. You're like, dude, there's an enemy out there.
You can't have success when somebody's not bringing the boom. Tim, I want to ask you built a company from 2 people. You grew a company from 2 people to 450 people. This is called tax and accounting software that was located. It was officing in the Cityplex Towers back in the day there. That's the ORU property there at 81st and Lewis, the big towers. Many people go, what do they do up there? Is that the prayer tower? No, there's a different prayer tower, but that's a big building.
We had a lot of prayers up there, though, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And I used to intern for you guys up there. Talk to the Thrivers about if you see somebody and they're not bringing the boom that we have on my hat, let's make America boom again. If someone's not bringing the boom to the workplace, what does that show to you?
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, you're listening to the Thrivetime Show.
Well, I tell you what, I believe that people are contagious both to the negative and to the positive.
Oh, come on now.
And we have filled up our company with contagious, mostly 20-something-year-old young men and women that were ready to change the world, and we just channeled them. And part of the interview process was to find out how positively contagious they were. And so it's a matter of you can't complain about what you tolerate, and so we did not tolerate the low energy people.
Whoa! Pump the brakes. That was a nugget of goodness that you just skipped over as if it was just nothing. Say that again, Tim Redmond.
We cannot complain about what we tolerate.
Ooh.
So Z,
wow.
what we do with a lot of the clients that we work with here is we will literally do a toleration audit. What are you tolerating? We get that down on a list.
That's huge.
Boom, they bring the boom.
That's huge, guys.
Now, Thrivers, if you're taking notes today or you're on the verge of taking notes, one of the reasons why I have this pencil behind me is because when you're listening to this show, yeah, we like to have a good time. Yeah, we like to help you. But at the end of the day, the whole point is to help you learn actionable ideas that can actually increase the level of success that you're having. AKA, you need to take notes, okay? The mind will forget what the paper won't forget. You need to take notes. When you listen to this show, definitely have some baked beans in front of you. Definitely have some pinion wood near you. But definitely have a pencil or a pen near you. Take notes. It's so important to take notes and to activate what you're learning, not just to learn it passively.
Right, and if you don't have notes, you don't have a pen or pencil or you're driving, what you could do is go to thrivetimeshow.com, where every show is put on there as a podcast. We have 100, almost 40 now, 130 something, 138, 139 something.
138. I was just calculating how much it would cost to transcribe it today, and it's 138.
Well, there you go. There you go. But the thing about it is you can get on and listen to the podcast. You can pause it, you can rewind it, you can listen to it as many times as you want, take notes then, but Clay's absolutely correct. You hear something, go, wow, that's impactful. I need to put that in action. I need to incorporate that in my business or the business I'm going to start. But you got to take those notes because, like Clay said, the brain will forget what the paper won't.
Now, years ago, I met a very successful pastor in Tulsa. I won't mention his name, but he's a guy who's very, very successful. And I asked him, how do you know with a congregation so big who your active members are? How do you know the ones who you want to talk to after the service? He goes, well, the people that don't bring a pen or don't take notes, those are people I don't want to go target. But if they've taken notes, they're sitting there active, you can tell they're learning, they're actually actively engaged. Those are the people I want to seek and fellowship with because I know they're active participants in their faith. And so I don't care whether you're talking about religion or business. It's so important to take notes. Also, Thrivers, it's so important that you email us your questions because there's no question too small or too big. And in fact, I find that the smaller the questions are, the more indicative they are of where everybody starts. So if you ask us a question, I'm telling you what, I went through the same thing you went through, and Z did too. And I call it the curse of knowledge, but a lot of times you learn so much you forget what the questions you used to have. And so we have a great question today that comes to us from a guy right here in Tulsa. Most of our questions have been coming to us from people all over the world, but this is from a Tulsan, and he writes this, Z. Let me get my in the news. Let me get my mailbag question music ready.
Yes. That sounds very official.
All right, this just in. He says, I need a new desk person to organize files, answer the phone, and to keep up with scheduling. Should I hire my wife or look for someone to hire? And one more time. He says, should I hire my wife or look for someone else to hire? Z, okay. I have 3 notable quotables that I want to read about this, and I want to get your feedback on it, okay? So,
all right.
Ben Horowitz, who's grew a $1 billion company called Opsware that they sold to Hewlett-Packard, he says this. He says, every time I read a management or self-help book, I find myself saying, that's fine, but that wasn't really the hard thing about the situation. The hard thing isn't setting a big, hairy, audacious goal. The hard thing is laying people off when you miss the goal. The hard thing isn't hiring great people. The hard thing is when those great people develop a sense of entitlement and start demanding unreasonable things. The hard thing isn't setting up an organizational chart. The hard thing is getting people to communicate within the organization that you designed. The hard thing isn't dreaming big. The hard thing is waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat when the dream turns into a reality. That's kind of a heavy-handed quote there, Mr. Ben Horowitz. But see, I want to ask you, when you hire your wife, it might seem awesome. Oh my gosh, my wife, I think she's a great person. I think she's fun. The joy of my life. She's my love. And then you hire this person, man or woman. You hire your husband, you hire your wife. Can we kind of coach? Because I have some, opinions. I want to hear your opinion here.
Well, the problem is it's either going to be really good
or
it's going to be really bad.
Wait. Let's go back to the really good part. So it's going to be really good.
Oh, yeah. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Doing great, Z. Doing great.
You're doing a fantastic job answering that phone.
I know.
Hey, what's your next break? Maybe we can slip out back and
nice.
have a little break time.
Procreation. That's allowed in the handbook, right? We
could just hold hands down the hallway.
But that's something people think. Like my wife, I love her. We'll work together.
Oh, yeah.
We'll share equal space on the print piece, on the website.
Oh, yeah.
I will refer to her in positive terms at all times. She'll refer to me. And then guess what? When someone doesn't do the item on the to-do list, you cannot fire your wife or your husband. So I categorically...
You can,
dude,
but it doesn't go well. It doesn't go well. I'm just telling you right now.
I 100% disagree with the concept of going out there and trying to... Now, I'm going to tell you what, my wife and I talked about a lot of things going into it beforehand of how we're going to handle situations. But if you're going to hire your wife or your husband, you need to talk about how you are going to break up the business relationship without breaking up the marriage. That's a tough conversation, Z.
Okay, but I handle the when it's good. Now, I want you to handle a scenario when it's oh, wait, I was giving you the eerie. I was giving you the bad.
Oh, going out eerie.
Oh, it's gone bad.
Ooh. I didn't know you hit it. I was like, uh-oh.
No,
Are you looking to start or grow a business? Then you are definitely going to have problems and questions along the way. You will find the answers to all of your business questions at Thrive15.com. Thrive15.com provides online video-based business training taught by millionaires and successful entrepreneurs for less than $1 per day. That's less than your daily coffee budget. It's no classrooms, no get-rich-quick seminars. These are trainings broken into 15-minute segments that get you the answers that you need. It's business school without the BS. I dare you to try a 7-day free trial. Simply go to Thrive15.com, and the first 100 people will also receive a free downloadable for how to optimize your website. So stop wasting your time and money. Go to Thrive15.com and get your business questions answered now.
right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. Today we're getting into the mailbag, answering questions that you have. And specifically, we have a Thriver right here in Tulsa. Typically, most of the questions we get asked are for people in New York and Singapore and Australia and Missouri. And for some reason, we don't get a lot of questions from Tulsa. Tulsa, help me out here. Come on, Tulsa, represent yourselves and ask some questions. But this is a question from a Thriver right here in Tulsa who says, he says, I need a new desk person to organize files, answer the phone, and to keep up with scheduling. Should I hire my wife or look for someone to hire? I mean, so the first notable quotable that I read, because I care so much, Mr. Thriver, was from Ben Horowitz, who's a billionaire. He's the guy who started the business, sold the business for $2 billion to Hewlett-Packard, and he wrote a book called The Hard Thing About Hard Things, which basically is that there's a lot of things that happen in business that are tough. And I'm telling you, one of the ones that I don't want you to deal with is firing your own husband or firing your own wife. So I would 100% of the time encourage everyone listening to not work with your spouse unless, just like with any other business relationship, you write it down and you define how you are going to break it up without breaking up the marriage. Because I'm telling you what, I've coached many clients, and when the husband is supposed to have followed up on the business cards and he didn't, and the wife is trying to hold him accountable, but yet she's also trying to hold him accountable about something he didn't do at home, and he's trying to hold her accountable. So he goes, yeah, I didn't do the business cards, but you didn't pick the kids up on time. See that? And I see it all the time in business coaching, and I have to say, whoa, time out. That's not what you would see in the offices of GE, of Disney, Hewlett-Packard. Any big company would not be arguing about spousal issues in the office. So you got to handle it professionally, and you've got to separate business and work. And if you can't do that, I just wouldn't go there. Tim, I want to ask you, what would be your feedback as it relates to Ben Horowitz's quote? He's talking about the hard thing and how it kind of, when life gets real, should this guy go out there and hire his wife to work with him, or should he hire somebody else?
Well, sometimes early in the game, you're just so desperate for cash flow, and you're trying to reduce the cash flow. If they had a beginning and end, and they were super, super clear on the roles and the different channels, and then they revisit that at least once a week. And this is something that helped my wife and I when we were working together, and when we weren't working together, but we were working together, trying to work together. It was just disaster. So without the clarification of roles, boy, you are asking for a lot of confusion and frustration.
Now, let's take that back to the house. I just want to talk to you about my marriage. And Sarah's like, I don't want to listen to your marriage stories. But I have one marriage story for you. The other day, and see, it's probably rare. You've probably never done this, Tim. You've never done this. But I irritated my wife.
Shocking.
And so I irritated her. And what I did, and I knew that I irritated her. But the thing is, my number one goal at home is to let my wife know that I love her and to cheer for her. I kind of view myself as like a professional man cheerleader. So even though we didn't agree about said thing, I was like, you know what? My goal is to make you happy. So I mean, mentally I'm saying this, and I just move. I just change my worldview. I go, you know what? Whatever would make you happy in this situation, let's do it. Because my goal at that time is to stay married. My goal in business, though, is to make a profit. And I will fire anybody, including family, if you don't do your freaking job, because that's all I care about. The goal of the business is to make a profit. The goal of the marriage is to make each other happy. And I hate when people mix those two, because I'm telling you what, there are many times where I'm waking myself up to do a show prep for this show in particular. I'm prepping for my show. It's 5 a.m. and I don't want to get up. And you know what? I have to get up because the Thriver, you deserve the show preparation that we deliver. But if I overslept, which I've never done in show preparation for this, but if I did oversleep and my wife was my boss and she didn't have permission to hold me accountable, it would just be weird. And I hate it when I see it, because I see it all the time. So please agree on those goals and those roles going into it. Now, Z, I have another notable quotable I want to read to you from Donald Trump.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. You're listening to the Thrivetime Show.
Yeah, but before you read that, kind of wrap up. We ended the segment on the little kind of, we talked about how when it's good, it's good. And I know we're going to keep deep diving into this question, but you know what's bad? It's even exponentially bad. You know,
bad.
I mean, it's just bad, because not only you're trying to keep your marriage and your family together and happy and moving forward, then when you mix that in, because the thing about it is that if you have a fight, it's nearly impossible to separate the house from the business, and therefore you don't have that little area of comfort, that little base of I can get away to this, and that's why mixing the two is very, very, very seldom a good idea.
You know what's awkward is there's a show that's out there right now that is called the the Fixer Upper with Chip and Joanna. And there's another show on the channel where there's a couple that was working together in California, and they were flipping houses, and they just got divorced, but they have like a 4-year contract. So it's either they forego millions of dollars of their HGTV show, or they just stick it out. So they're sticking it out, and they're just awkward on TV. If you watch them, you can just feel the tension, and neither one of them can get away because it's like they're not married and they're on a show together. Here we go. So I guess it's making ratings go up, but it's weird. You watch it and you're like, oh, boy. It's like you remember the movie Meet the Fockers or Meet the Parents?
Yeah.
And it's just awkward.
Oh, yeah.
It's that sort of Barbara Streisand humor in that movie where it's like, what was the other main character in that movie?
Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, and he's just awkward and she's awkward.
Oh, they were just outrageous.
Now
outrageously awkward.
Now here's a Donald Trump quote here for you. President Trump. It's kind of fun to say President Trump. He's actually the president. I probably should say that to be respectful. So President Trump quote. He says this. He says, in real life, he's talking about in comparison to the show. He says, in real life, if I were firing you, I'd tell you what a great job you did, how fantastic you are, and how you can do better someplace else. If somebody steals, that's different. But generally speaking, you want to let them down as lightly as possible. It's not a very pleasant thing. I don't like firing people. So the show, he has to say, you're fired. But as far as actually firing people, I mean, that's a thing people don't want to do. Now, here's the problem is, let's just say you did hire your spouse, man or woman, to answer the phone, to keep up with scheduling and organize files. I'm just being real. There's a business I worked with a couple years ago, and I won't mention the locality of where I was. It was not in Tulsa, but the husband... his job was answering the phones. And so John and we always send through bogus leads. We send a fake lead every week, through their website to see how often it gets called and emailed. And the husband's like, and the wife was the owner of the business. And she's like, so are you calling all the leads there, Greg? His name wasn't Greg, but something like that. Are you calling all the leads, Greg? And he's like, oh yeah, I call every lead. You calling them all? Yeah. And then she goes, well, I want you to know that I had the Thrive 15 guys do a mystery shopper deal, and you have not been calling the leads, Greg. And he's like, and I'm just going, oh no, I'm killing procreation at home. I'm the cause of abstinence at home. And it's just so awkward, Z. I can't deal with it. I don't know what to do.
Well, I tell you what, like Tim said, unless you're a startup and you have no money, and you just need to find someone that'll work for nothing or free, then don't, for the most part, don't hire your wife to come in and do it. Don't hire your spouse to come in and do this, because what'll happen is, and if you do this, make this your move. Say, hey, listen, we're starting up, we don't have any money, and I need you to come in and answer the phone, organize files, and do this. Make sure we have our good boundaries set up. But hey, listen, as soon as I can afford someone, as soon as we can, get someone hired to do that, then we'll get them in to do that.
And then after we agree on that, let's plan our Hawaiian vacation. Because we want to go to a Hawaiian vacation together. And
I still didn't get my ukulele. See, I'm giving you a ukulele for the show.
Remember, stay tuned. We'll see if Dr. Z gets his ukulele after the break.
Right now, how are you taking credit card payments for your business? It's never been faster or easier to begin taking credit card payments for your business than with Square. You know the little white square that plugs into your phone's headphone jack? It's awesome. This payment app is great for businesses such as food trucks, beauty salons, and retail shops. The users receive a small portable card reader that they can attach to a phone or other mobile device to take fast and convenient payments. The way it works is that it subtracts 2.75% of every time a card is run, and it does it automatically. So if you sell a sandwich for $20, you'll see a net gain of $19.45 in your bank account the next day. If you enter the card by hand, it costs 3.5% plus 15 cents on top of that. They encrypt everything so you know you're secure. They make it super clear to start and even offer bonuses for sharing with friends. So you can learn more at squareup.com. It's free to download and works on all devices and operating systems. So make sure that you go visit squareup.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. We're just listening to a little bit of Pharrell here. Dr. Z is our mix master. He's bringing in the hot hits here, Thrivers. But welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. It's business school without the BS. And yes, we are going to answer all of your questions today. And Z, we've got a mountain of mailbag questions. People from all over the planet are emailing us questions. And here is our next question. This comes to us from Virginia. Virginia, Thrivers in Virginia. He says
Cavaliers.
this. If I launch a no-brainer ad for my retail business, will it make my brand look cheap? Okay. He says, I repeat here, Thrivers, if I launch a no-brainer ad for my retail business, will it make my brand look cheap? Z, I have 4 points that I'll give the Thrivers. And the first point involves both you and me. You see what I did there? I involved both you and me with that question.
That's so kind. This is sweet.
So here we go. If you go to eitrlounge.com, okay, so I'm going to eitrlounge.com. Thrivers, I'm giving you a moment to do it. I'm giving you a moment. Come on, Thrivers.
It's elephant in the room.
Yeah, Thrivers, listen, it's awkward on the radio when we're all Googling. We need to work together. We need to go faster. Fingers on the home row. Let's all do this, okay? So if you go to eitrlounge.com, that's elephant in the room. That's our website. Our first haircut is $1. The first haircut that you get is $1 because you're doubtful. You don't think the experience is worth it. You're going, I don't know. I'm already get my haircut from a guy. I have a barber. Well, according to the statistics this morning, 103% of you that came in for your first haircut actually signed up for a membership at our Broken Arrow location, which means that not only did you sign up for a membership, but you signed your friend up. So it's a deal where I'm offering $1 for the first haircut because I'm so confident that the men's grooming experience that you will have at either of our 3 locations is so good that it's worth it. I'm going to pay $23 of costs out of my pocket for you to get your haircut for $1. Guys, if you're listening right now, you need to write this down. Women, if you're listening right now, dudes, ladies, everybody, write this down. Write down eitrlounge.com, and it's $1. Why? Because there's a certain swag and confidence we have in the experience. Now, if you go over to drzoellner.com, it's DRZOELLNER.com, drzoellner.com. There you will see it's home of the $99 deal. Get 1 pair of stylish eyeglasses and an eye exam for only $99. Now, I don't know your perception of he and me. I just know that Thrivers, you understand that we're approaching 6,000 new members a year at Elephant in the Room who love it and are happy to pay $34 a month for the haircut we gave away for $1. And Dr. Z, I don't know how many people a day are coming in to check out the offer, but I mean, it seems to me that we're doing okay, but yet we offer a no-brainer deal to get started. What advice would you have for this Thriver, man?
Well, you have to do it. I mean, part of the power of marketing is getting your message out in front of people. And people go, oh, that's awesome. Well, they do this. They make bagels. Oh, wow, a new pizza shop in town. Yeah, okay, great. But what makes it even more devastatingly wonderful is when you put that with a no-brainer, when you put that with something they can't help themselves. They've got to come. I have to come in. I have a story.
Choice. I have a story. I have to share a story. My wife and I went over there, right by your location, over there at the mall where you've been for. How long have you been in that location, right next to Woodland Hills Mall?
Since 2000, 17 years.
So Dr. Robert Zoellner and Associates have a location right there. You've been there for 17 years, and there was an orange leaf that unfortunately didn't make it. But here's the deal: they did an offer where they said your first time in, it was like $1 or something. So I go in and I'm like, I don't think you wanted to make that deal. So I get my little frozen yogurt cup.
Okay.
I go in, I load it up with all the,
accoutrements.
Yeah, I mean, was it chocolate chips and Reese's Pieces and fruit and all that. And I go in and I just love it. And I eat it and I'm like, this is awesome. This is awesome. I ate more than my $1. Well, I start to go back. Well, Vanessa says to me, baby, listen, they're charging you per ounce. They don't charge per cup. And I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about, because I know that it's definitely per cup, not per ounce. So I go in there and I heap it up. I load it up.
Oh, yeah.
I go
$23.
I go in there and I end up getting like a $23 yogurt, and they got me. I spent $23 on it. You've had that happen to you too? Sam, our producer, says it's happened twice. So all I'm saying is they got me in there, okay? Now, as far as their performa and why they didn't make it, that's a different discussion. But Tim, when you built tax and accounting software, you grew it from 2 employees to 450. Before you guys sold the business, how many accountants were you supporting with your software?
We had 22,000 clients, renewing clients.
Holy.
Here. And then the whole no-brainer thing, we would do a no-brainer offer, and we would generate 45,000 demos.
Holy cow!
Just a bit outside.
How did you do that?
We offered we would send out a CD that would talk to them and it would engage them. It was the latest in technology, and then we'd say, hey, listen, try it for free. We're the first ones in the industry to do that. Everybody else followed us doing that. But really, the no-brainer offer, when this guy is talking about, gosh, is this going to cheapen? What a no-brainer offer does is it gets their butts in the door so you can have a conversation.
Now, the thing is that you guys ended up selling that business to Intuit. What was the final sales price when it was all said and done?
The actual sales price was $62.5 million plus the balance sheet, which is another $18 million worth of stuff.
Holy cow!
Holy cow!
Just
But
about $80 million.
Here's the other thing too. The Thriver, when he sends us in, hey, if I launch a no-brainer, you've got to understand one thing: a no-brainer doesn't have to be financial.
Oh, come on now, preach it.
A no-brainer doesn't have to be a discount offer. A no-brainer doesn't have to be $1. A no-brainer doesn't have to be a $99
Come
deal.
on.
A no-brainer doesn't have to be tied into money, because I think that's what you're saying. Hey, if I tell people I'm going to do something for such a low amount just to get their attention and get them in the door. I mean, I had billboards in Tulsa that said LASIK $1 on them. You don't think my phones didn't ring? I mean, that was a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
And the thing about it is a lot of physicians, a lot of doctors that you've business coached over the years, Clay, I know a lot of them come to you and you're talking to them about the no-brainer. I can just hear, I'm a fly on the wall. I can just hear. In fact, I had the room bugged, and you didn't know this.
Oh,
and
wow.
I had you mic'd and the doctor mic'd, and the conversation went something like, kind of like this. I'm going to play it back for you right now.
No,
So-
go for it, yeah.
So Clay, I'm a very serious doctor, and I appreciate your business coaching. But if I do a no-brainer like you're saying, if I try to, I'm a dentist, and if I try to do something for that low a price, then it's just going to make me look like a fool to my colleagues and to my patients, isn't it?
And then I had actually audio. I recorded myself during that same interaction, and so I was able to record myself.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is the
So,
audio of what I
yeah.
said
Oh, you
back.
did?
I said,
Okay.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
all right, no, but here's the thing.
Why did I always call you Shirley? I don't know. Is
I
that
don't-
like a nickname or something? I don't
Here's
know.
the deal. I have a question I want to ask all the Thrivers listening right now. That I would say to a client. I would say, so you're asking the question, does having a no-brainer make me look cheap? This is the question I've asked thousands of people, and I'll do it again. Does not having any money in your bank account make you look poor? And then we move on, because it's the whole stupid conversation. I mean, honestly, you've got it. The Minnesota Twins, I'm from Minnesota, their attendance at a Twins game was so awful. Nobody wanted to go. By the way, the Tulsa Drillers, if you're listening right now and you watch the game, send me an email and say you watched the game, because 90% of us are not going to watch the game. We're going for $1 beer night. We're going to hang out.
They have a game?
But they have a no-brainer offer. So the Minnesota Twins did a deal where it's 5 tickets for $20, and it gave you 5 hot dogs. So it's like 5 hot dogs, 5 tickets for $20. That's the only way they save the Twins. Then once you get in, you buy more stuff. You got to make it a no-brainer, baby.
And that got butts in the seats, didn't it, Tim?
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned. Thrivetimeshow.com.
This show's episode is brought to you by Moz.com. If you have ever considered the World Wide Web as a viable strategy for your business, you gotta check out this tool. Online marketing is complicated, but Moz software makes it easy. Companies like 99 Designs, OtterBox, and Aaron's, they all use Moz because it works. Explore organic search keywords for your business, research Bing and Google search results for your targeted keywords, and link up Moz Local and Google My Business. Seriously, this tool is crazy powerful with the clarity it brings to online marketing for your business. Even if you're just curious, start a 30-day trial with Moz.com today. It's a game changer for your business. Moz.com, MOZ.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. If you were born in America, if you moved to America, if you could pronounce America, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show. There's nothing more American than the Thrivetime Show, and we are on a quest to make America boom again. You can forget the political shows. Our whole focus is to make your business boom, because I'm telling you what, something is so exciting. I remember before I sold the DJ business, I remember walking into the office, and every minute you could hear a guy hitting a gong because he's selling something. And just the energy of selling something and just knowing, bam, we sold it. Bam, we sold it. Oh, nice. You just felt the energy of the cowbell and the gong, and you could just feel it. And many of you are listening right now, and your business is in the financial toilet. You are not selling anything. You've got a great product, and you have a bias for the idea. But listen up here, baby. You got to put the bias for the idea aside. Did he just call me baby? No, but listen. You've got to put the bias aside for the idea and realize that it's all about marketing. Have you seen the shake weight, Dr. Z? The shake weight?
Every
one of those commercials was an obscene commercial that was turned into a parody. I mean, that whole thing, the visual, you can't. Have you guys ever thought about the 5-minute thighs commercials? Or you ever thought about like these ab flex, 5 minutes a day, get your best. You can't get great looking abs in 5 minutes, home skillet. You've got to work out. You've got to adjust your diet.
And it packs up neatly and folds underneath your bed where it will stay and collect dust the rest of your life.
They've got a deal where like there's a glue. Apparently you could put the glue on a parachute and it will somehow hold the parachute together. Whatever. That's a bunch of bunk. I'm just telling you though. But something happens around like midnight or 1 a.m. where
or
you're
the
like,
rubber spray. That's one of my favorites. The rubber spray is like,
Tim, what's your favorite infomercial? Do you have a late night infomercial that you've seen over the years that you're just, I mean, is it a real estate commercial? Do you have one that you've just like, is there a certain theme that you just go, that's a good one?
Ronco, 1995. But wait, you get two.
There's always the get two.
Just the shipping and handling is $4,200.
So I'm gonna walk you through. I'm gonna walk you through the level of how the infomercial mindset works. Okay, because infomercials that you're doing to a daytime audience are different than the infomercials you do at night. But here's the infomercial to the nighttime audience. You're working off the assumption that step one, the person watching has had one bottle of wine. So now they're like, I'm watching. This is the inner dialogue of the person watching. Oh, well, WWE is off. I'm going to switch over to ESPN. So they watched SportsCenter. I watched SportsCenter now for the fourth time. The same SportsCenter. Do you know that every half hour they repeat that thing? I'm tired of it. So I'm going to go on over here to the show with a sweet old man. And he's saying I can support Mugwai for as little as $2 a month. I don't have time for that. I'm switching over to a different station. Oh, look, I can make millions with real estate? That doesn't seem plausible. I know what I'll do. You change the channel. I can dehydrate meat for as little as $150. I spend thousands on beef jerky. I should buy that. $19.99 an installment, and they're throwing in, Tim, the free slicer dicer. I'm going to do it. I'm so intoxicated, I can barely read my own credit card, but let me get it out. And they call in. Bloop, thank you for calling Ronco. Yeah, my name is Barry, and I'm calling from Tulsa. What? Barry, my number is, and you just order that thing. That's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer.
Because it's like their brain's not engaged. But sober daytime marketing involves somebody you're selling to that's sober. So you have to make the offer so compelling that I have to change my direction. You know, Jiffy Lube has a no-brainer. You want to see their no-brainers? Have you seen the Jiffy Lube no-brainer?
No, I have. What is it?
Well, you drive a lot of foreign cars. You're driving a Porsche.
It has actually pulled me in.
Has it?
I have drunk that Kool-Aid.
Here's the dirty Jiffy Lube move. I love this one, by the way. It's my favorite move.
I love a move that motivates. I mean, that's what it is.
I'm driving over there to Memorial off of 115th and Memorial. There's an apartment complex there next to a golf course of some kind. And my move is I don't like going to the dump, so I'll take all my trash and I'll just dump it in that apartment dumpster right there. Just put it right there.
You probably shouldn't have said that on air.
No, I just said they're not gonna. You listen. If you're listening right now,
Sam,
and you're like,
you may need to beep that. Do a little backwards.
yeah. So I'll
scrub
go
on
in there
that.
and I'll just dump it there. There's extra space, so I do it at the end of the month. I know when their pickup cycles are. So I go in there, I drop it off. And what happens is I'm driving by one day and I realize, oh my gosh, Jiffy Lube for $9.99 they'll change my oil. And I pull in with the Hummer. I walk in.
And that's any car?
It's the Hummer.
No. I mean, any car, $9.99.
Well, it just says $9.99 oil change. I pull in. I got the must pull in with my Hummer. I must pull in. When I just drive right past the apartment complex, I pull in because the signs were before the apartment complex, just past Lowe's. I pull in. The guy says, "Are you looking to do a oil change today?" Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. And I pull in. It's $9.99.
Okay.
I sit down. He said, "Do you want some popcorn? Do you want a refreshment?" There's always like Sprite. There's always some popcorn. There's a lot of an older people magazine. I sit down. He says, "Well, I'll tell you what. Looking here, recommended manufacturers recommended. You want to get the air filter, changed out. Look at it. Look at the dirt on it. You see the dirt on that. I mean,
that's not good.
You want to go ahead and change that out?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll change it out." That was like $20.
Okay.
Comes back. Hey man, your belt. I mean, it's running through, and when it runs, it gets him hearing a lot of. And I'm hearing like, is this guy imitating a koala? Hey man, I'm just saying when it runs, it's like, you could hear it back there. I mean, it's. Do you ever hear that sound? And I'm like, yeah. Well, do you want to risk it? I mean, it's kind of, we're not quite in the spring, but
yeah.
So I'm like, okay. Then he's like, hey man, your air, what we call it's what's the engine coolant? That thing appears to be. So next thing you know.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, you're listening to the Thrivetime Show.
No exaggeration. I'm walking out $1.50. $150 later, I got my $9.99
popcorn and a Sprite
and I got
refreshing
I got a $9.99. But he got me in, baby. He got me in. And so you know what, Mr. Jiffy Lube over that 115th and Memorial.
Well done.
I applaud you. I applaud you. You're a great American. And Z had asked for it the other day. He said, Clay, can we not get a sound, like a cheering sound effect? And Sam, our producer, he's like on it. And so this sound effect goes out to if you're listening right now and you have ever been to the Jiffy Lube at 115th and Memorial, I need you to run in there and say, listen, they're talking about you in a positive way. Mr. Jiffy Lube, we salute you. You got us in for a no-brainer. You upsold me 150 bones of stuff. I'm passionate about what you just did. It was a no-brainer, Z.
Yeah, it was absolutely a no-brainer. And like I was saying earlier, we had this mailbag question where we've been kind of deep diving into, and that is, just to recap, if you just turned in the show, it's if I launch a no-brainer ad for my retail business, will it make my brand look cheap? And so all the examples we were kind of talking about were actually based on price. But it doesn't have to be necessarily based on price. A no-brainer could be, used to do a no-brainer with your DJ company. And that is, you would say, hey, listen, if you don't like it, you don't have to pay me.
A guarantee is an absolute solid move. And
that doesn't cheapen the price. That doesn't make anybody think that, you must not be good quality. In fact, it might even do the opposite.
I've got one right now with a real estate agent I'm working with outside of Tulsa.
Yeah.
And what she's doing is if she can't sell your house in 60 days, no realtor commission. No commission.
Well, there you go. And so it's a no-brainer to get you to move, to get you to call. As Mr. Tim Redmond said, it gets butts in the door. It gets people to move. It gets people to turn in. It gets people to call. It gets people to get on the website and order.
Take action.
It gets action, yeah. And that's what you want. You want the phones to ring. You want the door to swing open. You want some action, because then what you can do is you can come in and just like at the Jiffy Lube move.
Yeah.
For $9.99 turned into $150. And you know what? He was just vertically integrating stuff that you needed for your car. He was like, hey, let's get the cars in here, because we know we get enough cars in here. We're going to sell some air filters. We're going to sell some belts. We're going to sell some, brake pads. We're going to, go down the list. We all have cars. We know that. And that's the move. And it's a beautiful move, And
I have two more no-brainer examples I want to give you, Thrivers. I want to make sure we get this. If you go to Macy's.com, it's MACYS.com. When you go there, Z, do you consider Macy's to be an ultra cheap discounter or a discounter? When you think of Macy's, is that like the highest of the high, the lowest of the low? How do you view Macy's?
No, I've kind of put them right in there with maybe the Dillard's, kind of a upper middle,
So like
middle of the road.
Yeah, but maybe upper middle.
Little bit up.
So like Coach is a high-end brand, and maybe a discounter would be like Walmart. And we're saying it's upper middle.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, personally, upper middle. Now, my thing is Tulsa, and so our stretch is not as big as some of the cities in the United States. But I'd say upper middle.
Well, if you go to Macy's.com, Thrivers, I want every single Thriver to go to Macy's.com during the break. I want you to look at Macy's.com. I want you to go there, MACYS.com, because every business in the world that is successful makes it a no-brainer until they don't have to.
That's powerful, Clay. I think
Say that again.
Yeah.
Every business in America that's successful makes it a no-brainer until they don't have to. And so what eventually will happen is that if you do enough no-brainers, you have such a demand for what you do, you can stop doing discounts. But Macy's right now, go to their website, MACYS.com, and see what kind of specials they're running right now. And we come back, we're going to talk about that and why they're running that specific offer. And then we're going to get into the Dream 100. Many of you are wanting to know, how do I generate referrals? How do I get people to refer me? And many of you are wanting to know, why won't they just play more Bon Jovi? And I'll tell you why. Because really, I mean, we haven't had enough requests for it. But now we had a request for some Bon Jovi, Z, and who are we to deny the Thrivers?
We're givers. We're giving here at Thrivetime Show.
Okay, managing your money has not been easier. Mint.com is the solution to ambiguous and blind money management. You can effortlessly create budgets that are easy to stick to, or even use one that they make for you. Design budgets that are appropriate for now and put you in position to succeed in the future. Get notifications for weird account charges and receive personalized tips for eliminating fees and saving more money. Check your credit with a free credit score and explore what you can do to improve it to be able to purchase the things that you really want later. Link up the app on your phone, and money management on the go has never been easier. You can even link up your portfolio accounts so you can see your bank accounts and stock values side by side. Mint.com, you got to go check it out, and you can sign up for free. Again, that's mint.com, mint.com. Go sign up right now. It's definitely a game changer for money management.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. Some people might go fast, but we prefer to go slow. It's all about mental marination. It's the station where you go to learn what you need to learn about how to grow a successful business. I know it can be tough, it can be challenging, it can feel overwhelming at times, and so what we do is we make ourselves available to answer any business questions that you could possibly have. And many of the questions you ask are super practical. They're very specific. They're very detailed. And today our plan is to get through the entire mailbag. But inside the box that rocks, for those of you who are not on Facebook Live and you can't see here, we have the two incredible guests here today. We have Mr. Jesse Haynes. He's a Tulsa University student. He's an author. He's a podcaster. He's a blogger. That's a video blogger for those of you who are not yet in the know. Jesse, how are you?
I am doing excellent. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. So thank you for letting me join you in the booth.
How did you hear about the Thrivetime Show? Did you have somebody saying, "Don't listen to the Thrivetime Show. Don't listen to me"? Were people chanting? Were they rioting? How did you hear about it?
I actually tune into it quite often. So I have this nice commute to college, and every time I'm in the car and I know you guys are on, then I tune right in and try to follow along.
Oh, boom! Let me give you a boom. That's awesome. That's what Z. How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
Z, do you remember when you were 20? Do you remember that?
Yes, I actually do remember when I was 20.
And I want to encourage you, because that's when I started my first business.
Are you suggesting that I'm so old I can't remember when I was 20?
I just want to be so encouraging for the Thrivers
kids
listening right now. You have no idea.
Good thing we've got these two handsome men between us, because otherwise I'd just jump over the table and we could do a WWE on Facebook Live right now.
I mean
this. That pencil.
Tim. I mean, do you remember if you could go back and take what you know now and go back to a 20-year-old version of yourself?
Oh, my.
I mean, how pumped would you be?
I'd be a billionaire, I tell you that right now.
I want to be a billionaire.
So I'm just finding this. Over time, you can learn from mentors or mistakes. And so we have a great guest on like this. And we have somebody on the show with Jesse who's got a great vision, a great passion. I can't tell you how excited I am to answer his questions. But before we do that, we want to wrap up this question from a thriver in Virginia who was asking us, he says, if I launch a no-brainer ad for my retail business, will it make my brand look cheap? Well, we talked about the example of Dr. Z's business as well as my business. It's Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge and Dr. Robert Zoellner and Associates. And then I encourage you to go to Macy's.com. When you go to Macy's.com, you'll notice right now they have a 30 to 70% off site-wide special. They have a 25% off special going for men's private sale and clearance. Now, I encourage you, this is a fun thing. I'm not encouraging you to do this every day unless you want to just kind of take the challenge here. But if you go to their site every day for the next 30 days, I promise you will always see some kind of major special going on. But yet Macy's is not known as a discounter. So Z, how is it possible that somebody like Macy's could not be known as an ultra cheap discounter when in fact they always are offering some kind of discount? How does that happen?
Well, what happens is they're very purposeful in it. You walk into Macy's and you have a certain experience. They have high-end counters. It's polished. They've got, the physical setting is nice, number one. They've got good branding, number two, and that's very important. I mean, the little blue box from Tiffany just didn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And now Tiffany could run sales the rest of your life, and you would never think of them as anything other than a quality place to get jewelry, because they've spent the time and the money and the energy in branding themselves. So once you get yourselves branded correctly, then a discount offer or a deal for the day or a special of the month, that's not going to take that away.
So the thing is, Thrivers, you have to create an ambiance and a high value package. The best notable quotable I can give to you, I'm paraphrasing this, but this is from one of our Thrive15.com mentors, one of our teachers on Thrive15.com. His name is Michael Levine, and he says this. He says, A gift presented in a Tiffany box is received with a much higher level of prestige than the same gift presented in a Kmart bag. So the thing is, you can offer no-brainers, but if you also offer a Tiffany box packaging, you won't be known as a discounter when you offer a high-end experience, Z.
Right, and Tiffany spent a lot of money, a lot of time. It was very purposeful. When you walk into a Tiffany's, the experience you have, the smells you have, the sights you have, the touches you have, all your senses are stimulated in a particular way. And yet when you walk into a Kmart, it's a different experience. But they're purposeful about it. They want to be known as the discounter. They want to be known as the value-driven place to come and get your deodorants and your soaps and off-brand jeans that don't fit you very well.
I was writing a commercial that would describe the ambiance of Dr. Zoellner, and I just wrote down a few things, and I just want to tell you how you brand yourself.
Okay.
Are you looking for a man that's handsome but not too handsome?
Not just like
a man
pass out with
a man that's approachable but not too approachable? Are you looking for a guy who's looking for a nice long walk on the beach? A guy who appreciates the finer things in life, like Lagavulin and a nice cigar, and he's got himself a big old car with a button in the middle that makes the trunk go That's Dr. Robert Zoellner.
You want a man that'll talk
Associates.
to you in a chat room till all hours of the night.
A guy who's constantly available. No, but not too available. That's Dr. Robert
available
Zoellner.
enough that you wonder if he's available.
But I mean, seriously, the music can control the atmosphere, the ambiance, and I'm just telling you what, Thrivers, you could offer great discounts, but when you have a certain ambiance and atmosphere, it can totally, the accoutrements can totally dictate what you're willing to pay the second time that you come in.
But here's the power of it, and here's where it really gets electric, and that is
come
when
on.
you do that no-brainer, and they're thinking, $1 for a haircut. Boy, this place is going to be a dump.
It's going to be a dump.
I got $1 and I need a haircut. So I'm gonna go in because and they go in and the place is, it just over delivers in every regard. It's got the old barnwood on the wall.
Edison bulbs.
It's got Edison bulbs.
Paraffin hand dip.
It's got a lot of high-end people,
Hot
their high-end clothes,
treatments.
their high-end haircuts, and that hard part on a couple of
Custom
them.
styling.
Their beards are oiled up just right, mustaches.
You deserve an experience, not just a haircut.
Someone greets you at the door with a beverage. And they, and they're nice to you. People are smiling. The smells good. The music. And you're in there going, oh my gosh, I get this for $1.
It's $1.
That happens in my optometry clinic all the time. People come in for a no-brainer, and they walk in. It's a 2-story building. It's open. We've got, I mean, it looks like something out of New York or LA. They're coming all the time going, this place is so cool. We have it's clean, it's well lit, it smells good. We've got the latest equipment. People are wearing their scrubs, all uniform, pleasant, nice, greeted, smiley faces.
I have audio from one of your customers. They said, "Is this the coolest place on earth?" And one of his employees had to walk up and say, "No, you're at Dr. Robert Zoellner and Associates, but you are close, my friend."
And then we cut their hair for $1. No, we do an eye exam on them. I get the two places mixed up. But the point is, a no-brainer gets them in the door. Now it's up to you to wow them.
Wow.
And when you put those two together, it's synergistic. In other words, it's 2 plus 2, but it equals 7. That's synergism. That's a beautiful thing in business. Beautiful thing.
Now, we have our Thriver Inside the Box That Rocks, Jesse Haynes, Tulsa University student, meaning that he's attending. Are you alleging that you actually attend the University of Tulsa?
I am. I go there quite often.
And you drive there in your car from Skiatook?
I do. Pleasant commute.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. You're listening to the Thrivetime Show.
All right, you can ask us anything, my friend. You're on the hot seat. What questions do you have? What business questions do you have?
All right. For one thing, with what I do as a creator of content,
yes, sir,
books, podcast, stuff of that nature, that's a little bit different than the stuff that most of you guys are doing, in that you're starting a company from the ground floor, building it up. You can sell it. You can monetize it in every way possible. So how would you guys, if you were me, go about monetizing your created content other than just selling books?
I have 3 moves for you. But my move number, my pre-move is just you eat that microphone with a passion, and then America will love you so much more. So number 1 is definitely, and I encourage you to jot this down. I'm giving you the pen of integrity. Definitely study everything that Tim Ferriss has ever done. You need to obsess about Tim Ferriss. You need to find a GOAT, the greatest of all time. Everyone listening right now, you need to find a GOAT, the greatest of all time. Somebody who is where you want to be, and that's what he does. He does what you just asked me.
All right.
So Tim Ferriss is your man. Okay. He went to the University of Princeton, I believe, and while he was attending college, he proposed this hypothesis that he could become a best-selling author about the topic of time management without ever having managed his time outside of the campus.
It's a beautiful story.
And his professor is like, no, you can't. So he ran an aggressive AdWords campaign for each book title that he was flirting with. And the book title on AdWords that got the most clicks was 4-Hour Workweek. But he hadn't written the book yet.
Oh, that's just puts
brilliant.
a smile on my face that is just so beautiful. It just makes me warm and fuzzy.
So 1, you need to look for a GOAT. 2, you need to find out what people are searching for on the internet. And I will just tell you 3 things right now that people are searching for on the internet, which is unfortunate, but this is true. Okay? Yep. Number 1, not so bad, weight loss. Number 2, not so bad. It's not as bad as the next thing. Weight loss, okay? And then you have, and I hate to say it, but divorce. And then the 3rd is adult content.
All right.
Now, once you get past those big 3, you move on into other topics. Find something that you're excited about that people are searching for, and use semrush.com or moz.com to find it. Find what people are searching for, okay? Find a need and fill it. Find a niche and scratch it.
Find a parade and stand in front of it.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm saying is, I am very, very interested in pinion wood, but I can't monetize that. But because I can monetize other things, I can buy as much pinion wood as I want. You feel me?
I feel you completely. I will go find a parade.
Well, the great irony is recently Thrivers have been mailing me Patriots accoutrements, Patriots decor.
Oh, no. We almost made it a show.
We're getting in all this Bill Belichick swag that's been mailed in. And Thrivers realize, hey, listen, I'm fully booked out, but if you send me a Bill Belichick embroidered chair or a Super Bowl, some kind of swag or decor, I end up finding time on my schedule to talk to you on the weekends because I just love that Patriots swag. It's like my secret. It's my weakness. But you've got you've got to sit down and study a GOAT, the greatest of all time. 2, you've got to make sure that you just study what people are searching for. And 3, you've got to commit to being in the best 1% in the world at whatever that niche is. So I find that there's a book called The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and I want to get Tim's feedback on these moves. I want to get Z's feedback on these moves. But The Outliers said you have to spend 10,000 hours at something before you can be considered an expert or a great. So I have spent well over 80 hours a week for the past 5 years devoting every ounce of my energy into business coaching, and a decade doing it, but the last 5 years, I mean, it's like 80 hours a week. So you add it all up, you're like, whoa, homie, you've read some books. Either you've got a lot of time on your hands or you know a lot about that subject, but you've got to dedicate yourself. So Z, let's talk about the GOAT. Why is it so important that you find a greatest of all time to study? And I want to get Tim's feedback on this as well.
Well, the thing is, when you're trying to build a wheel, you find the best wheel out there. Someone's already built it.
That's a nice move.
You know, and then you send your guy, and he gets that wheel, and you break it down, and you say, oh, I don't have to reinvent this.
Luigi, you don't have to reinvent this.
I don't have to spend any of my energy.
Tell DeMarco he doesn't have to reinvent
I can just, use the information that's out there.
Anthony does not have to reinvent this.
Luigi
doesn't have to invent this.
But that's what a GOAT does. A GOAT's a guy out there that has he's paved the path for you. And all you have to do is find the path and then walk down the path. That's much easier than getting a machete and going to the Amazon jungle and saying, I think there should be a path here. And then you spend hours and hours chopping to make that path when all you have to do is find the path that's already there and walk down it.
And they leave a digital trail that you can find at archive.org/web. Archive.org/web. You can find how Tim Ferriss started, how he pivoted, how he changed. When we come back, we're going to get more into the questions and the answers.
For the professional-looking man out there, this is for you. Are you tired of waiting for hours in disorganized barbershops around town? Are you maybe looking for an upscale haircut experience instead of being treated like a little kid? If either of these thoughts crossed your mind, then Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge is for you. The Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge is proud to offer a variety of packages and memberships for discerning men and regular customers who wish to maintain their tailored look while receiving discounts off of services and products. They're going to bring you in, they'll offer you a beverage, identify your style that you're going for, get you a tailored haircut from one of the professional stylists, wash your hair, and then style it afterwards so you could even go back to work. The experience is awesome. They even do cool things for members like a free nape shave on Mondays or a peppermint oil scalp massage on Tuesday. Check out one of the locations near you and book an appointment. You can check them out at eitrlounge.com or just dial 918-877-2219. Seriously, you're going to love it. 918-877-2219 or visit eitrlounge.com to book an appointment today.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back into the Thrivetime Show, your audio daily dojo of mojo, where we talk about what you need to know to make your wallet grow. We're officing on the left coast of the Arkansas River, where we broadcast daily on our magical microphones from Jinx, America, the center, it's the epicenter of entrepreneurial education. Did you know that Forbes actually has consistently rated us over the past 5 years, Tulsa, Oklahoma, as being one of the top 10 cities in the world to start a business? And did you know that 57% of you listening want to start a business, according to Forbes? And did you know that 8 out of 10 businesses unfortunately fail if you don't have a business mentor or a coach? 8 out of 10 businesses are failing by default, Z, and we want to eradicate that number, my friend.
I hate that number, and that's our heart on this show is to take that 80% and to shrink it down to like 0%. So that's why we have those in-person workshops now. We just finished one up this last weekend. It was awesome. And you know what's so fun? It's seeing people's eyes light up. Some of them you see them kind of that knowledge bomb hits them. They're like, I did not know that.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that. And so we go over the 13 steps and how to start and then grow your business. We have downloadables, we have templates, we have hands-on training. I'm telling you what, listen, Thrivers, Clay Clark, I would put him up against any business coach in the world, and they wouldn't even have a chance to beat them. This guy is incredible. He's been doing this for a long time now. He's very successful, and he's a great speaker. He's very funny. So not only are you going to laugh, but you're going to learn. It's laughing and learning. And you don't have to laugh if you don't want to. I mean, you know, I mean,
A lot of people try not to at all. The first hour, people show up their first time. This is what they're saying.
Is
Is this guy trying to be funny? And then the second hour, they go, I want to chuckle, but I don't want to affirm him too much. The third hour, they're like, I haven't had any upsells yet, but here it comes.
Here it comes.
Fourth hour, no upsells yet. We're going to lunch, and we'll see if he tries to upsell us after lunch. Fifth hour, sixth hour, seventh hour, they go, wait a minute, I just had an entire day, no upsells. Day two, they go, is there going to be an upsell? Day 2, hour 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then they go, whoa, that was 2 days, 15 hours, no upsells. What?
And you know why they're thinking they're going to get the upsell? Because every other conference they've been to, that's the move.
You know, I'm gonna
That's
go.
the move.
See, I'm gonna walk the Thrivers through the landscape. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you get a chance to go up there and you can see the landscape because there's
choices.
There's choices. There's options.
They have choices. They have options.
And we got this move from Southwest Airlines. They call this thing called transparency, by the way. It's a whole other thing you can look up. But Southwest Airlines openly compares themselves to the competition, so you can see how they stack up dollar for dollar versus the competition.
Yep.
Now, at Thrive 15, our workshops are $500, and there's no upsells. And if you can't afford it, you can choose your own price. What? So we're just saying, Scout's Honor, if you're in a bad spot, you can choose your own price. And Z, I haven't talked to you about this today, but if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, Thrive15.com is now available. You can try it for $1 for the first month. Not free, it's $1 the first month. You can try it out. And you know what? So far, everybody who's trying it out for $1 says, I'm happy to pay the crazy price of $19 on month 2. It's $1 for your first month. You got to check it out. Now, Tony Robbins is hitting you for $1,000 to come to the conference, which that's a fair price. But then he's going to upsell you the entire time. You go to the Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's $500. They're going to upsell you. They try to upsell you to a $45,000 program. Then you have Maui Mastermind. That's a $30,000 program. And then you have special guests on the show, like Jesse Haynes. He's a Tulsa University student. And Jesse, I'm not asking what you are paying for college because you're a genius. You're obviously on a full scholarship. You're not paying anything, I'm sure. But what does Tulsa University cost per year at this point, roughly?
It is about $56,000 a year, so it's pretty steep.
$56,000 a year?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Are you making that up?
I am not, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. Tim, did you pay him to say that amount?
I don't know where he got that amount, but it sounds like it's a pretty expensive education.
So he asked the question. He said, hey, I'm wanting to become an author, podcaster, vlogger. How do I go about marketing and how do I go about growing the business? And I given him my tips. And step number 1 was you want to find a GOAT, greatest of all time. Tim, why does he have to find a greatest of all time to study and to find and to pattern his career after?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a great way to avoid a lot of mistakes. You're hyper-spacing into somebody else's mind and methods that they may have spent millions of dollars learning to get there. So you hyperspace that, you jump into that. And really, when you talk about the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000-hour rule, what I have seen people do, and as a young man going after this, I can see you making it to the top. But here's the deal. Along the line of the 10,000 hours, we get distracted so easily. We don't keep our hand to the plow, and this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And so the idea here is there's very few people that can stay steady for 10,000 hours doing the same thing over and over and over again and becoming the best in the world.
Now, I want to ask his next question here, Z. Why is it so important? We talked about this tip here, to find a niche and scratch it, to find an actual problem that the marketplace is willing to pay to solve. Why do you have to find, for a guy like this, I mean, he's a writer, he's obviously talented, he's a vlogger, he's a podcaster. Why does he have to find some, already monetizable niche from our perspective?
Well, because people are willing to pay money, and it's much easier to say, hey, listen, what are people wanting now? I love your thing where you get on and you search the words of what people are looking for. Tim Ferriss's story about where he put out like 40 book titles, and then the one that got clicked on the most to buy or to look at is the one he then wrote the book for. I mean, that is just beautiful. I mean, why try to guess what people are wanting to spend their money on? Why not just, I know it's crazy, ask them. And you ask them you can look at what they're searching for. That's a beautiful thing. And so then you could do it with confidence. I mean, Tim Ferriss wrote that book knowing, okay, I already had so many hits. I already had so many people wanting this. It's almost like pre-selling something before you even make it. And that's a beautiful thing. that helps ensure that you're going to be one of the 20% of successful entrepreneurs and not the 80% that's not successful.
I have just discovered this, Thrivers, that many of us out there are wanting to commit to an idea that doesn't make sense financially. And there's a time and place to do that. So I'll give you an example. My wife and I love raising chickens. We enjoy raising chickens. But I dated a girl during high school. Her name was Katie. And it's called Forsman Farms. It's still out there in Cokato, Minnesota. My wife actually got a chance to see this facility. He packs, and I'm not exaggerating, 20,000 chickens into a barn. And if you get a chance to go on Google Earth and Google Forsman Farms, I don't know how many farms Gary has now. He probably has 10, 12, 20, I don't know. I'll look over the break and I'll tell you when we come back. But he has 20,000 chickens in a barn. And you know why he does it? Because he makes money. That's his whole deal. And then he made enough money, so he did another one, and another one, and another one. And check it out. If my wife and I were wanting to monetize free-range chickens, we would have to be so good at that that have to be our focus, our focus area. And we're just not willing to do that. So we make money in other areas, but we take the money we make over here and we use it on our free-range chickens. And we put a electric fence in there. We've built a fence around it. We're talking to a guy right now, Sam, our producer, to see if he can hunt the bobcat. But the thing is, because we have expendable income, we can spend our hard-earned money to pursue that passion, even though currently the price, do you want to guess what the price per egg is right now for our free-range organic eggs?
Let's see, $1?
It's about $10 an egg. I've just kind of factored it in, roughly. When did you think about all the animals you had to buy?
Oh, gosh.
All the animals. I'm just telling you, it's been a very expensive venture.
Well, what a bargain, though.
But the joy we experience. But if we had to live off that, we would be poor. Thrivers, stay tuned.
Hustle on that.
Are you a business owner? You need to ask yourself right now, how are you backing up your files and important documents? Most businesses have no system for the files in their business. If this is you, you gotta use Dropbox. At least sign up for one of their 30-day free trials. Real talk, it's the secure file sharing and storage solution that employees and IT administrators trust. You get as much space as needed at no additional cost. You get unlimited file recovery and versioning, basically creating new versions, and valuable admin controls for secure sharing and collaboration with Dropbox for Business. You got to check this out. After using Dropbox, you'll definitely feel more secure knowing that a virus or power surge can't ruin your computer and your entire business. Try full access to Dropbox Business for 30 days. Head over to Dropbox.com to get started. Again, Dropbox.com to get started.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. My name is Clay Clark. I am the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year, sent here to help you grow a successful business. I'm the father of 5 kids. And I'm telling you what I promised before the break. I would do a Google search, and I would tell you how many barns that Forsman Farms now has. We have an incredible guest on the show today, and he asked the question here. This is Mr. Jesse Haynes, a Tulsa University student, who, by the way, he might not be paying this, but Tulsa University is how much per year, my friend?
About $56,000.
Did you say $56,000 a year?
$56,000.
Now, Z, if you go to Thrive15.com and you sign up to try out the website, your first month is $1. Now, you studied math in college, did you not?
Yes, I have a degree in mathematics.
So if you took 56,000, and how much less than 56,000 is $1? What is? Is that
$55,999?
Wait. Gosh, that was quick.
That was just kind of. I'm just roughing. I'm spitballing there.
I'm just saying. It seems to me like that's a lot less than 56,000, and I'm just saying that's just me looking at the calculators and. What do you think about that? Is it over? Is it safe to say? Would you go out on a limb and say it's less money to spend $1 a month on Thrive15.com than 56,000 over there at TU?
Well, we got to put it in perspective though. 56,000 covers a year. Now, it's $200 for Thrive 15 for the year, roughly. I'm using,
I knew there was a catch.
Yes,
I knew there was a
bait
catch.
Switch, I got you.
But the experience at Thrive 15 is not the same. I never got any. We don't give any of the Thrivers brands, and there's no sorority girls, and the whole thing is different. All right, so we move on.
Well, the thing about it is, though, I mean, you're right. That's Forbes calls us one of the best online business schools there is. Wow. That's pretty cool. And the thing about it is it's changing people's lives, because here's the thing about it. When you get on, you can search things by category. You can search things by mentor. You can say, hey, just walk me down what I need to know, right, to start a business.
Yep.
And it's practical business knowledge. It's not, hey, you could do it. Just pull up your
buckle
boots.
down. Just buckle down.
Just buckle down.
Pull up your boots.
You can do it. Just get her done. No, it's the practical steps that you do, step-by-step things you do. And people have loved it so much, they wanted more. And so that's why now, instead of just, we thought, well, this is all we need to do. Okay, drop the mic, we're done.
Drop the mic.
Away. Hey, must be the money.
Oh, wow.
And we're out of there. But then people said, oh, no. We want more.
We want more, baby.
Yeah, so Scripps contacted us and said, hey, can you guys take this Thrive 15 platform, this business platform, all this excellent information, and turn it into a radio show? And we're like, could we?
Sounds like an adventure. We
Well,
said, you know what? Maybe
why
we
not
could
try?
do it.
Why not try?
We would have to build a box that rocks.
We would have to build we have steps we'd have to do.
We would have to gather a microphone.
We'd
And
have
then
to
2
get a
microphones,
microphone.
and then 3, and then 4, and then we'd have guests like Tim Redmond on the show and Jesse Haynes, and they could be asking us questions, and then Jesse comes in hot. He says, listen, I am a vlogger, I'm an author, I'm a podcaster. What are the steps to get to success? We said, 1, find a goat, the greatest of all time. 2, got to find a niche. And I told you guys, Thrivers, listen, my wife and I have organic eggs, but we don't have what it takes to have an organic egg business. And I told you this girl I dated in high school, her father's name was Gary Forsman. And I said I would tell you how many barns he has. I'd look, because each one of his barns has, if I believe correctly, I know it might be even more than this, but 20,000 chickens per barn.
That's a lot of chickens.
And I'm on Google Earth right now, and I'm looking up the address, which is 6339 Mowery, Mowery Avenue, Howard Lake, Minnesota. Check it out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he has at least 200,000 chickens that he is feeding. And by the way, you know what you do to a chicken when the chicken is no longer producing enough eggs? When you have a large chicken factory like this, do you know what you do?
I'm meditating. I'm kind of sad. I mean, you could be the heir to a chicken kingdom.
I'm telling you what you do.
I mean, if you had just hung in there with Katie, I mean, you could have been the heir. You could have been like the chicken prince.
I hate to say this, but what you do they render their bodies and they turn it into baby food for Gerber. It's an additive for Gerber baby food. True story. And all their poop is turned into manure.
Oh,
and
yeah,
their eggs we eat.
sure.
This is helping people grow their business right now. This is good.
Yeah,
so I'm just saying though, they found a way to turn every part of the body of the chicken into a value add. I mean, there's nothing that goes to waste because it's a for-profit business. So you got to find a niche and scratch it. So I want to ask you here, as you're thinking about this, Jesse, what's a niche that you could speak to that maybe you go, okay, there's a lot of people that I know my age or around my age that would be looking for that. What's something that you're kind of thinking about it? What's something you could do?
Well, from a standpoint of a writer, I'm constantly targeting the middle grade audience, boys primarily, that are into the action and adventure books that I was into. So I need to seek out ways to connect with that audience on a global, national level.
And 3, I told you need to spend at least 10,000 hours devoted obsessing to that concept. Tim, when you guys started tax and accounting software, you started out of a condominium. So it's you and the founder. You guys are working together. You guys are co-founders or founder, you and the founder working together, Tim and Tim. And, I mean, when you're working out of a condo, how many hours were you devoting to marketing at that place in time and at that point in time?
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. You're listening to the Thrivetime Show.
We really poured heart and soul into that. First year that I joined him, we went from $200,000 in sales to $1 million in sales, and there's just 2 of us. So we worked day and night. It was just get her done, burn. That was our focus. That was our mindset, and so we just got her done.
Well, Elon Musk, we have his quote painted on the wall there inside the Thrive15.com world headquarters. And he talks about this, but I think if I read it and you really embrace what it means, he says this. He says, this is his notable quote. He says, work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100-hour work weeks every week. This improves your odds of success. I mean, okay, whoa, time out. 80 hours. So if let's say you work 10 hours a day for 7 days a week, he's saying, no, you got to do more. 12 hours a day for 7 days. He goes, they're about there. He says, you said 15 hours a day for 7 days. Now you're in Elon Musk territory. He says, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that you will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve. And I want to encourage you with this, Jesse. Are you married?
I'm not.
Are you dating somebody?
I am.
Okay. Well, you're dating somebody, so it's going to be a little bit harder, but you still have the advantage here. When you're a young person, you have the advantage. Because, and I remember I was starting DJ Connection, no exaggeration. I work 7 days a week, probably 15 hours a week. And I just beat the heck out of my competition because I had nothing standing in my way. I had no commitments, no obligations. 7 days a week. I remember telling my team. I remember looking at my guys. I said, "Listen, guys, there's 5 DJs." I said, "You know why our competition can't compete?" And the guys were like, "Why?" I said, "Because they need some sleep." And one of my guys came back with a T-shirt that said they can't compete because they need some sleep. And then he added a little thing. He said, DJC to the top of the heap. That was his little shirt he made. And I remember all the guys started wearing that shirt going, they can't compete because they need some sleep. Now, if you're married, you got to find boundaries and you got to start turning off a lot of things and saying, hey, I'm going to spend time with my wife or significant others, so I'm going to get up early. But if you're a single guy, dude, your entire day could be devoted to just total domination. See, I mean, there's no better place to be than starting a business as a young person.
Absolutely. And, you say to yourself, well, why not? You can Google this right now. Google this. The average number of hours a person watches TV. 5 hours a day.
Oh,
5 hours a day.
What a waste.
So why not take that time and build your business? Because then you know what? When you get that thing rolling and you're kicking it and you've got financial freedom and time freedom, then you can watch all the TV you want to.
You can listen to all the 80s songs that you want to. Stay tuned. More answers to questions from thrivers like you.
This show is brought to you by Adobe Creative Cloud. If you're a photographer, graphic designer, video editor, podcaster, business owner, or just creative genius, this is for you. All of your creative tools, all in one place. Creative Cloud includes the entire collection of creative apps for desktop, from favorites like Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator to new tools like Adobe Experience Design. Check this out. You can create podcasts seamlessly in high quality with Adobe Audition. Did you miss the exposure or looking to create a stunning and beautiful photo? You gotta download Lightroom, okay? The latest release of Adobe Creative Cloud is here with incredible new features in Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and all of your favorite apps, plus millions of Adobe stock assets and new premium images are built right in. So you can turn your brightest ideas into your best work fast. Make sure that you check out Adobe Creative Cloud. It's at adobe.com. Once again, Adobe Creative Cloud at adobe.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. If you're ready for your day to rock, if you're wanting to take your day to the next level, well, let me tell you what, during this segment, we will rock you. Who is we? We is he. That's Dr. Robert Z.
Boom.
Dr. Zoellner, how are you, sir?
Nice. I love that about you. Not only are you the world's best business coaching, but for all the years that you DJ'd, now you've got that natural kind of just rhyming DJ aura
cadence
about you. Yeah, the cadence, that DJ, You might, when I first saw you, your wife was working for me and you were coming to pick her up. I was like, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Looks like kind of like a poor version of Eminem. And you'd come in there and
he is I and I is him with the flat brim.
You came in there and you were like, just wait for someone to step on your shoes so you could fight them. And you were like a little bit of an attitude. And and the transformation from that, what year was that?
But my wife started working with you back in 1999.
Yeah.
Which I believe was that 9 years into you being at Memorial? Or how many years was that into you being at your Memorial?
No, 1999 is when we just started. We just kicked open Memorial.
Okay,
Memorial
so
was just opening up then.
I just remember walking in going, oh my gosh, this place
brand new,
is
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
seriously, I'm not kidding. I remember when I saw you at your holiday party, you remember my wife wore if you did remember, I'd have to slap you. But no, the thing is, my wife, my wife was there, and I remember we got all dressed up, and she bought a really nice dress, and I bought some dress clothes, and I remember going to your party, and I remember saying to myself, man, I want to be someday where that guy, she wore like a kind of an aqua colored dress. I remember, I want to be someday where that guy is. And I remember just stalking you and committing to learning your secrets.
Well, that's what you do. When you find the GOAT, when you find someone that you say, okay, this is my GOAT, this is the person I'm going to study. If it's someone you can have access to, man, you want to show up on their doorstep. You may want to intern with them. You may want to try to get them to lunch. You may want to try to get some of that one-on-one time, that mentoring time with them. If you can get that in person, that's large. But I do remember this. I don't remember your wife's dress, to be very honest with you. But I do.
I appreciate you that.
I do remember you in that in your suit, and you did the DJ thing. When I came up and I tipped you, I don't know, it was a couple hundred extra bucks that I gave you because you did such an excellent job at that Christmas party. And you really didn't charge me that much to begin with. Yeah. Because I come to find out, I think you were just starting out, right? So, but I tipped you. And I can remember vividly the look on your face. You was just like, oh my gosh.
When you tipped me, that was a time where I actually we didn't have enough money to make it. And so when you tipped me, it was like almost, not to the dollar, but it was within $50 of what we needed to pay our bills. And I remember just being like, oh my gosh, I think you tipped me like $200 for like a $300 shower or something. And I was just like, yes, because I knew you were a good guy, but when I got tipped, I was like, the appreciation and just the whole way you handled everything. I'm just telling you, it was a casino theme party. And you had a company where they had like, the people who did the casinos were somehow like models. They were models. I think
Kurt Lanigan has a company called Entertainment Specialties, Inc., and instead of getting like retired veterans to do your gaming, he actually went into he was very clever. He went into the modeling agency, and he said, I would like to hire some models. And they said, okay, it's, for the 2 hours or 3 hours deal, it's like $50 a model. He's like, okay, I'll and they said, here's the book, pick out the ones you want, flip, pick, and said, okay, I need to teach them how to deal cards. And so then he has all these like 6 foot tall, models dealing cards.
It's a crazy scenario he created.
But it's great marketing. I mean, if you think about it, I know you may want to, have a retired veteran deal to you. And, veterans are great, don't get me wrong. But, it's kind of like he has all these models doing. It's kind of like, oh, that's memorable.
We have 2 more questions I want to get into today. The first one is from a Thriver in New York. And he says, why use a small bank? He says, I'm looking at going with Chase Bank. This is a Thriver New Yorker. I'm kind of going off the outline here. This is from Michaela, who just emailed that in. He says, he's in New York. He's one of our Thrivers. He owns a company called American Hybrid Homes. He says, what's the value of using a small bank versus a big bank? Well, first off, when you go to a small bank, you have an opportunity to build what I call the 3 C's. And I'm going to go through the 3 C's, and Z, I'd like for you to kind of pontificate about those 3 C's.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, you're listening to the Thrivetime Show.
C number 1, capital. Every bank basically rents you money. Z, at the end of the day, whether you go to a small bank or a big bank, at the end of the day, you've served on the board of a bank. Ultimately, isn't it kind of just renting money at the end of the day?
Oh, absolutely. They borrow money from the government at a rate, and then they loan it out at a different rate, and they make money on the spread. They make money on the difference. They may get it from the government, say, at 1 point or 1%.
Big bank or small bank, it's the same deal.
All the banks get the money from the feds the same rate.
Now, move number 2, and I want to get your feedback on this, and move number 3, Tim, I want to get your feedback. So move number 2, it's the 3 C's of why to use a small bank. Move number 2 is connections. See, you go to a bank like Regent Bank, one of our loyal sponsors. You go to Regent Bank versus maybe like a Chase Bank or a Bank of America. Why is it so important to establish connections within your local bank?
Well, if you go to a small bank and you're going to get a loan, I promise you this, and this is just straight math, your loan is going to be a bigger deal to them. And so you're going to be a bigger deal to them, and they're going to make you feel like a bigger deal to them. And that's just the reality of it. A small bank has less money being loaned out there. And so your loan, whatever the size is, you may say, well, mine's just a small loan, or to you it's a bigger loan, but you're going to be a bigger deal to that small bank.
And, if you're looking for a small, local Tulsa bank that treats you like a big deal, you need to get yourself into the lobby of Region Bank. Region Bank. Thrivers, you just have a very limited time. You got to get your body relocated into a Region Bank. Region Bank. Region Bank.
Going 7 times the national average of a bank.
Yeah, it's Region Bank. And so, Thrivers, we want to see you in the lobby of a Region Bank. Okay, so here's the deal. So one, just if you're listening right now and you're saying, what's the value of a local bank versus a big bank? One, it's the 3 C's. Okay, so one, it's capital. They all have capital. But 2, it's the connections. You want those connections, those relationships. Tim, C number 3, counsel. When you team up with a small local bank, you have counsel, mentorship, guidance. Why is that valuable for young and aspiring entrepreneurs?
Oh, it's huge. With looking at the 80% failure rate, or actually up to 96% failure rate for startups, you want to have a friend that has been there before. And so when you go into this big bank, you're a number, it's a ratio, it's a formula. When you go into somebody like Sean Copeland, who's a good friend of mine, he actually runs a number of businesses himself. He's going to speak from experience. You're going to have a friend that's knowledgeable. That's going to, whoa, don't go there. Slow down on this. They're going to guide you along the way. It's a huge advantage.
Now, Jesse, you can ask us anything, my friend. The final 60 seconds of power. What questions do you have? Any question at all, my friend? Go for it.
All right. As a experienced entrepreneur that all you guys are, what is one mistake that you have made in your past that I could learn from?
One is I did not seek out mentorship fast enough. So whether you are looking for one-on-one, business coaching like Thrive15.com has, or I would recommend everybody does this. I would highly recommend anybody. That's why we built it. It's $1 for the first month, but I would encourage everybody to go to Thrive15.com and begin learning from mentorship and not mistakes. Because I don't have enough time to get into the profundity of the stupidness that I did. That is all easily preventable if I would have known that landmines were here, there, and there. Once you have a roadmap to success, it's so much easier. Z, what are your thoughts?
Mine would be probably not investing more into my business early on and growing it even faster. What happens is you kind of get, you take a gamble, you start your business, and then it starts to take off, and then you take a breath and you say, oh yeah, okay, now I
should buy a boat,
and now I can actually pay these bills. I better and what happens is you kind of coast for a little bit, and then all of a sudden one day you wake up and go, why am I coasting? I don't want to coast. So I want to go. So it's that, at some point you're going to have that financial and time freedom, and it's how much, your end game over here. You got to really know what your end game is, and then just work like heck to get there and to go fast. And to go fast means you just pour as much as you can and keep delaying your gratification. And I probably didn't, my biggest, if I could go back and do it again, I would have grown, I'd invested quicker and grown faster even.
Tim, what's your biggest mistake?
Well, I think it's a lot has to do with the concept of sowing and reaping. So getting a educational plan where what you sow into yourself, you're going to reap, to really stay steady with an aggressive education plan, because you're going to face problems in the future that are going to be at a very different level, a new level of requirement that it requires of you, and so you've just got to rise up to that level. Plan your education so you can go on vacation.
Now, Thrivers, we have 4 ways that we can help you. One, if you're listening right now, it just started today. You go to Thrive15.com. Your first month is $1. So get yourself to Thrive15.com. Check it out. It's the world's best business school. How much is TU, my friend?
About $56,000.
And we're about $1 for the first month. So check it out, Thrive15.com, the world's best business school, $19 a month after that. Try it out. It's a no-brainer. Move number 2, we have Thrivetimeshow.com, Thrivetimeshow.com, the world's best business podcast. Move number 3, one-on-one business coaching. You're looking for a business coach like Tim Redmond over here, a guy that knows the way, goes the way, shows the way. I'm telling you what, you want like an Obi-Wan Kenobi of business? Really? Tim Redmond. I'm just saying, go to Thrive15.com, learn about one-on-one business coaching, and we have our in-person workshops. We now have the next 6 dates available. You can find the date that works best with your schedule. Z, go to Thrivetimeshow.com.
I tell you what, it's a no-brainer, and our heart is to help you. And as always, we end the show.
3, 2, 1, boom!